And now we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you just watched our last panel that literally just wrapped up. We now are going to be talking about your health, your mental health, your family, all the different things that are shifting right now because of the situation that we're in. And I'm so excited to have two people that are really big voices in this space, and also have a major impact on what's going on with SoFlo Vegans as an organization. Corinne Sutton, he's a master fitness trainer, bodybuilder, and he so much more, and he'll talk a little bit about that more. So thank you so much, Corinne, for coming on. We appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem.
And then we have
is it mic's working okay?
Yeah, I think his mic, he just said something that sounds really good. So, and you sound good as well. And who's you? We have Dr. Leon Mellman, who I've had the last couple of weeks the opportunity to have one-on-one conversations to hear his thoughts, his visions, what he has done. I'm so excited to have you on to share your thoughts with our audience.
Thank you. And Corinne, pleasure to see you again. I met you originally at the last big expo Sean put on. So
yeah, man.
Congratulations on your success. And I saw the flash on Instagram with Susan from Animal Hero Kids. And Sean, if we can just give a shout out to her. You work with her as well at Animal Hero Kids, and she's doing amazing work. Her life has been dedicated to that. I also just because of what the country's going through. And recently, at the end of February being a Black History Month, it was just so powerful. And then we came into this COVID-19 thing. So I just think it's really special. Everybody, the most recent Animal Hero Kids book that came out, I was so happy to see that they put one of my favorite phrases right there. Okay, everybody, that's page 119, if you want to see that. And then, of course, I'm biased. My daughter is on page 83. Okay, 83. Yep. With her rescue pig, and right there, right, and that is another philosophy that we share here. And Sean, very well said, man. But this morning or this afternoon, sometimes it feels like morning when you start at 5:30 a.m. Right, guys?
Yeah.
It's connecting compassion. Connecting compassion. I think we all agree with that, right? Connecting compassion. When we sit down and we talk with loved ones about where is humanity? Where is humanity right now with what is being a vegan? What is plant-based power? And people step back. They step back. So I think storytelling is real important. I want to learn about Corinne. Am I saying your name correct?
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Awesome. I want to learn a little bit about more him, and then I'm sure everybody tuning in wants to learn about all of us, right? But storytelling is fascinating. And yesterday I caught a little bit, Sean, with the woman that is married to a cattle rancher.
Yes, Renee King Salmon.
Oh my God. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, you see my friend here, Magic? He's a rescue, right? People hunt him, they steal them. It is so sad. And this incredibly special animal. But when she was talking about that yesterday, it was fascinating. And it really took me back because I grew up, obviously, Corinne, we can see your shoulders, man. You got a build on you, brother. You look like you're ready to go linebacker on me, which is cool. It's really an honor. Some of the guys and the female athletes I'm honored to provide care for, they say I'm a goat taking care of goats. And it's pretty funny. It is, but it's humbling. But the stories that I think trended us into this philosophy, it's really a lifestyle. Wouldn't you guys agree with me?
Most definitely.
Yeah, and then it becomes this philosophy. Not everybody is ready for a paradigm shift, something spiritual to take place in their life. I always ask that people listen with an open heart and an open mind. But it does take place. That's part of my story because I grew up in a massive meat eater, massive. My mother was a nutritionist. She developed this scientific application to save my life between the ages of 5 and 7. We were doing crock pots, bone stews. I grew up in Dade County, deep 305, right just east of Carroll City, where we started out. And I mean, it was crock pots, it was bone broths. And that's all I knew. And as a trained nutritionist, where we go to school and we get PhDs, this happens. But the past literally 12 years of post-grad education, what they're learning, they're doing to animals, the chemicals, the pesticides, the GMOs, it is, I mean, you see my face. This is who I am, gentlemen, and for all the world that's listening, and it's who our family has become. Now, my wife, she was vegan when I met her. She started out when she was just a little girl. I mean, amazing. And because Kim, on our first date, was at a steakhouse. Seriously, at a steakhouse. The Hard Rock was just built down here, and they had that like steakhouse everybody wanted to be at. And we went there. And this was intriguing. I had graduated from school, started my practice, literally my personal assistant to my mom. We're growing this nutrition organization. I'm also doing pro family and sports chiropractic. And Kim and I knew each other. But I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting. She was willing to meet me at a steakhouse, right, guys? She's vegan, but huge heart, like gigantic heart. She gave me a chance. And when I was there and she didn't order a steak, I said, okay, I've got to keep an open heart and open mind. And this is a true story, no sugarcoating. And here we are married. I mean, my God, over 16 years later, and through my post-grad, learning this, keeping an open mind, seeing what they're doing to animals. And as Sean, as we were talking last week, the GMOs, where I get so concerned with people that are being vegan or just they're plant-based integrating, or I'm guiding people from all walks of life, as I'm sure you do, Corinne, with your practice, slowly. And I think that was the brilliance with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Game Changers.
So let's do this before we go into that. Let's give Corinne an opportunity to talk a little bit about himself.
Oh, absolutely. Please. Please.
So Corinne, tell us a little bit about, I kind of built you up a little bit, but there's so much that you have going on. Talk to us about that.
True. So with me, what I do is I'm a master fitness trainer, also a nutritionist, and also a 3-time pro bodybuilder. Also in the past, I have history being in the military. Did 4 years fully active in the United States Marine Corps, served in Operation Iraqi Freedom 3 and 4.
Thank you, man.
Well, did another 4 years in the United States Navy Reserves as well. So that's a little bit about myself.
Can't wait to meet you.
The trophies and certifications and stuff in the back, but that's a little bit about myself. And I've been vegan for about 8 years.
Big digital hug. You gotta get used to this. I just said I was a West Point academic athletic scholarship recipient, man. Honestly, and I have a huge affinity for the military. I didn't know that about you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
We do have a quick question. What does a master trainer actually mean?
So pretty much a master trainer, you have like institutes or schools. Mine's the actual school that when you get certified in so many different fields in exercise science, they consider you as a master fitness trainer. So there's a lot of different credentials or specialist certifications that you can require, but after so many, it levels you up to specific levels in training. So a master trainer is pretty much, to wrap it up in general, I did pretty much all the courses they had to offer. So that's what it's about.
So I want to take this back to the topic at hand. Right now, people are adjusting to living their lives in their homes, not traveling as much, not communing with other people. What are some of the things that you're doing personally? This is for both of you, to make sure you're staying in good health and that you're not binging or, pretty much putting yourself in a situation where you're going to have more trouble on the tail end once we are able to go back to normal?
Well, personally, for me, like, fitness is a lifestyle, so when this situation started, the first thing when it comes to my mind, and it might be different for others, is how can I adapt to this situation? Because I wasn't making the situation at hand as a roadblock for me to fail within my fitness and health goals. So it was just really just adapting my lifestyle to being home. So one of the things is first eating in more than eating out. Obviously, No one's working. So why am I going to spend tons of money just eating out and buying random foods all the time? You know, it's going to get really expensive. So that was one. Number two is nutrient dense foods, where like if I eat out and buy a bunch of junk food, I know I've been to the grocery store multiple times. It's really sad to see if I'm going through the aisle, pasta and toilet paper is all ran out, but the produce section is filled with plant-based nutrient-dense foods. And this is where the medicine is at. This is how you're going to boost up your immune system. So definitely loading up on a lot of plant-based nutrient-dense foods was really a next step, because I was like, I want to make sure I'm getting in all the best foods. Like for me, it's not like about binging and eating junk food. Like my mind automatically shifted to, okay, I can't have a little bit of vegan junk food anymore. I have to be plant-based if this is a pandemic and the whole world is dying from a virus, you know? So my mind is it's like that military mind. It's like when there's a war happening, you have to prepare for war, you know? And this is a different type of war. It's a global war, which is it's invisible. The enemy's invisible. And the only thing that I know that I can have any type of like real armor, not just wash my hands and putting a face mask on. The real armor is how I'm fueling my body. So if it gets attacked or infected, how well in my immune system is going to be able to defend that foreign enemy inside my body. Yeah. And that's how my mind went into, but it's more of a biological mindset and spectrum. So that's what I did.
I want to. What about you, Dr. Leon?
Yeah, no. I want to. That's excellent. I just want to comment on the mental aspect. That's all. Go ahead, Corinne.
No. I'm segueing to you now. So, like, what are your thoughts?
No, that was so well said. So let's reflect right now and give an intelligent thought flash, as I call it, to the globe, because we had Dr. Bruce Lipton and many people all over YouTube this past week, gentlemen, right? And we're 3 male, so women of this globe have tremendous abilities that we don't have. And I say that because what you just said, Corinne, was very special. We have to remember, you can eat the plant-based protein, we can shift. And by the way, guys, I've been vegan now for 6 years, and there was integration, withdrawal, as I guide people through. So just to finish the storytelling before, but what you just said, Corinne, it's what's here, right? Between the ears, and going to the produce section, reading those labels. Again, everybody, I think you picked up that on what I'm trying to communicate already as a nutritionist as well. Please pay attention to what's conventional and non-GMO. It may cost just a touch more. We're in the greatest time right now to take care of ourselves. Corinne, I know you agree with that. Sean,
yeah.
we are self-quarantined to be gentle, but another internal saying is, be stronger than your strongest excuse. Quote Dwight Freeney, a very good friend and personal client of mine. Be stronger than your strongest excuse. And we have to remember, it's here. It is right between the ears. And Corinne, I just that adds more fire to my propane, man, because what Bruce Lipton was constantly speaking on this week, gentlemen, and for all the world viewers right now, is if we're feeling anxiety, if we're feeling stress, if we're feeling these pressures, you have to stay in the game. And as I was saying to Sean earlier this week, bring the kids into the kitchen, put some music on, let's have some fun, figure out how to make a meatless meatloaf, take some organic black beans, take some organic sprouted oatmeal, cut up the pineapple, throw it in, let the kids mush their hands in it, put on James Brown, do something to bring the focus in. Because another thing I'm very passionate about, Corinne, is how he said, right now we've got to get military mindset. I had no idea I had that in symbiosis with you. This is really symbiotic energy right here, meant to be. But people do go to look out. I'm sure you experienced this in your profession, Corinne. They go to eat out. They go to gather. They want to talk about life. They want to, here it is, get outside their homes.
Yeah.
Not conjure in the kitchen. The kitchen is where magic happens. The kitchen is like another church. It's like another temple, right? The conversations, playing with the food. How do things come together? We need that more than ever right now. Just like Mother Nature needs us more than ever right now to go plant-based.
to look for things that were put here from a higher power. And Bruce Lipton's message this week was phenomenal, because if we can constantly focus on these things, Corinne, you were just saying, being more at home, having a military mindset. When I hear that, just because I almost took that scholarship instead of going to play basketball, I want everybody to hear this. When we apply discipline, that doesn't mean something tough. That doesn't mean something like negative. A lot of people that are aspiring to have shoulders and biceps like Corinne, you can't see mine now, but I got some, right? Mm-hmm. They associate this like negative pain to discipline. Yeah. Discipline yields reward. Please, everyone. I have 3 other men here. Corinne, amazing accomplishments. Again, man, I have so much admiration, and how I work with the military. We'll connect after this. But discipline yields reward. It does not mean that you're going to go through something painful. That's where the mind comes in, which is what Dr. Bruce Lipton was talking about this week. Control your mentals. Don't let catecholamines and anxieties build up in the brain to where you're not breathing deep, right? So we can actually control this at home. How many people do we work with would love to have control over more things, right? But it's an illusion control. It's like this energy that everyone thinks they can have, but we can actually have it now. We can touch it. You can get in the kitchen. You can bring your groceries home. You can read the labels, or you can tell the people at, all the digital grocery shopping to find this label, find that label. And we can finally create this environment in the kitchen, in our homes, with our children, and have 100% plus influence. 100% influence. This is how the world does get better. And this is how the world is elevated on a mindset. There's never been a better time to experience plant-based power, from the greens to the beans, or in the military, they say the beans and the bullets, right? Yeah. The beans and the bullets, baby. No here. No, this is my little cartoon character, my daughter and I.
So Corinne, on that note, I know I'm subscribed to your emails, and I see that you're putting out a lot of advice, especially during this time, to get people motivated, to get them in a position where they're going to be their personal best. So what are some advice that you have? Like, probably, what's the top takeaway that you would have for people when it comes to the food that they're putting in their body?
So, I mean, first, if someone's new to veganism, I would say first thing is, when it comes to the protein, because that would be obviously someone's main concern over like nutrient density, right? So, so the first thing would be more like tofu, seitan, and tempeh. Those are my 3 top staples. These type of products will have a high amount of source of protein, and also they're all are great sources when it comes to iron and calcium. All right, and then when it comes to nutrient densities, this is where you want to look at mostly a lot in your fruits and your vegetables, especially dark leafy greens. The more dark leafy greens you consume, the better, because the leafy greens has tons of nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C. Mushroom, for example, has a great source of vitamin D. So if you're in a cold area, can't get that natural sun, start popping in some mushrooms, like the regular mushrooms.
Mushrooms, crazy amino acids. I'm telling you, that peaks. Look at crazy amino acids and great brain.
Yeah, tons of amino acids. Yeah, because even when you a thing with the vegetables and a lot of fruits, they have tons of amino acids in it, and it comes down from different places where you're looking at, from potassium. Vitamin C actually helps with inflammation. So when it comes to your recovery time, not just it helps with your immune system, but also the recovery time when you're playing sports or exercising. This is a great time to load up on those things.
We should probably share, just in case, amino acids are proteins, right?
Yeah, they're the building blocks. Yeah,
right. They're the building blocks of proteins. In case people, that word, I teach a lot out of private online conferences. People hear that and they're not 100% sure if they have an athletic background. They typically understand that. So that's very, very important to hear that. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. You want to say something?
So we talked a little bit about food. Is there anything you want to add, Dr. Leon, as far as food?
I would like to share something. So with regard to the seitan and these different amazing proteins that come from different types of grains, we have a gigantic eyeball opening issue in this country where everyone is afraid of gluten. They're afraid of gliadin, which are parts of these amazing foods that this higher power put on the planet. So it's a question we get a lot when people come into our dietary engineering program and they say, hey, doc, you know, I've read these labels, and Corinne, it says on a lot of the seitan products and these other things, it says it contains gluten. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And then they watch the video. They watch a video of people all over the world making it right at home. And they think, wow, that's inexpensive, right? I can get flour, I can get dough. But now they go back to maybe conventional trained doctor, maybe a naturopathic physician. And again, everybody, we're here on this forum, open minds, open hearts, right? Please, so no judgment. And they've got training that says what? Stay away from gluten, be aware of gliadin, be careful. When if we were to go searching and learn on the keyboard that these are components biodynamically of these grains, of how these beautiful things grow, that are, by the way, filled with B vitamins.
Yeah.
Huge amounts of B vitamins. I think it's quite interesting if we look at the statistics, how our country is exceptionally deficient in B vitamins. And everyone is so scared of carbohydrates. Last time I checked, most of us are born with a pancreas. That pancreas has a very specific function in our immune system, and it needs to use, or as we teach, assimilate carbohydrates in a very important fashion. And the proteins that Corinne you mentioned are powerful. But please, everyone, when you see that word gluten, don't be scared. I know I read a book about celiac. I read about all these illnesses and these diseases. And I say that like that because it is a hyphen, a dis-ease, which means a lack of harmony in the body, a lack of your brain and your digestive system to integrate these foods. Where I want to leave that today is read the label, buy a non-GMO piece of wheat, buy a non-GMO bag of flour. Don't go and try and make these proteins at home with something that has been sprayed with glyphosate, or when you buy your condiments at home for black pepper or cayenne pepper, if it does not say non-GMO, or it warns you that it has been radiated with ethylene glycol, please be aware of that. I'm not going to mention brands today, but those things will combat interface with your pancreas, and now your body can't use gluten well. It can't access these B vitamins. It's chemical warfare. Oh, great. Now we got chemical warfare in our food. Now we got chemical warfare with COVID-19, right? So we've got to build up our insides, and it's devastating, Corinne, to go to the grocery store. I've been going out one day a week and doing market research. And I don't know if you saw my mask video. My family and I mean, we've got an athletic mask. We've got the coffee filters in the front and the back. Yahoo just featured it this week. A couple of my clients emailed it over on their statistical lab sheet. Coffee filters were number one for keeping viruses and bacteria out, but they're very hard to breathe through. Sean, aren't we glad we warned people about that? You do have to be aerobically built. You have to do some aerobic training, but then they recommended different types of paper towels and things. But we've got to strengthen ourselves from the inside out. But right now we're at home. Corinne, you said it, get in the kitchen. Don't look for vegan junk food. Don't look to go out. Please, everybody, gather your wife, your loved one, your partner, your children, get into the food. The food is healing. And now is the best time ever. And to contact people like Sean, who's got such resources, or contact someone like Corinne or myself. Well, we've been doing this. This is my 20th year. I am more excited than ever. Corinne, I can't wait to subscribe to you and actually look to your services. This is what the time is about right now.
Yeah.
We've got to lead people this way. Families. It's very important.
And then the other thing I want to talk about is we talk about some of the foods that we eat, but also another big component are the liquids that we put in our body as well. Staying hydrated. Corinne, for you, like how important is it for us to stay hydrated, and why should we do it?
Hydration is really, really important. I think they say like the body can't go without water no more than like I think like somewhere around 3 to 7 days. Like so it plays a significant role. Like you can go for like a month without food, but water is the next thing because you have to think about your body. Your body, 70% of your body is made from water. So if you're not hydrating it all the time, you know, you're going to be SOL. And this leads to infections and diseases when you're dehydrated. Yeah, it makes the body vulnerable. So you definitely want to be consuming a lot of water. You know, that's why you saw me. I carry this. You don't have to be a freak like me, but I carry like this is a whole gallon, you know. And so and even if you want to go even deeper, you know, and this is going a little bit off topic. What type of water? You know, you want to definitely get a good source of water, not drinking like straight tap, unless that's all you can afford. I totally understand. But if you have the extra funds, I highly invest into going into like natural spring, purified or distilled or alkaline. Yeah, like some of these type of waters because it's just the purity of it. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot safer, and it's better for your body.
We suggest to all of our patients that are prospect and then go through medical interviews with our organization, we use your weight divided by 2 equals ounces per day. Everyone listening, please, that is a medical minimum. It is a medical minimum, female and male. Now you have to consider your medical history. If a female is training or she's a mom or people aren't physically training, because there are tons of moms that are crushing it. I mean, it is amazing what's going on in the world right now with fitness. But that is a minimum requirement. I bring that up because if we are going through hormonal changes or hormonal integration, as we like to say, and men, we have menstrual cycles too, by the way, we need to increase our water intake. So your weight divided by 2 equals ounces per day. Now that increases if a beautiful female immune system is pregnant. That also increases if a male is training, right, Corinne? And you're increasing your amino acid intake because our kidneys filter these proteins, and then your liver is a cleaning organ at night. So I also inspire my parents to teach this to their children. Wonderful to see the container. Sean, I saw that gallon. I got some spring water right here, but that is a minimal requirement. Your weight divided by 2 equals ounces per day. Then we teach people if you're exercising, if you're taking medication, if you're increasing your amino acids, what your goals are spiritually, mentally, and physically. But that's something that we can give to people today. It allows them to see, oh my God, I wasn't drinking enough water. I just did that. I need a whole nother liter. I'm sure you ran into that, right, Corinne? People think, oh, I drank like 8 glasses, and then they do the math.
Yeah, I always say like carry a big container. Like the bigger the container, the more likely you're going to drink the whole thing. When you have the small containers, you can lose track of how many you actually drank. Yeah, so I always say carry a big container. For women, y'all can carry like something half of this. Like they do have smaller containers like this, and it's probably like a half a gallon, and it's a lot smaller. And then for men, y'all can carry a whole gallon, or vice versa, or it's not really even a sexist thing. It depends on how you want to carry your water, how comfortable it is.
Like to get it done. We just would like you to get it done, right, Corinne? We want them to get it. We do. And that's another question, Sean, that comes up a lot with me in my practice is they're like, hey, doc, if I fell behind on my water before I go to sleep, should I drink a lot of water? Because it's going to make my weight go up. And this is what I ask them to think about. I encourage positive thinking. If we have an organ that needs to filter water through our bloodstream and you go to bed dehydrated, you're putting more pressure and stress on that organ. And I said pressure first because our organs are immaculate pieces of energy. Why put pressure and stress on that? Oh, but I have to get up. I have to urinate through the night. It's a pain in the butt. Well, hey, organ stress, organ pressure, or you know what? Maybe you'll urinate. Thank God your bladder works well because there are many people that have a bag attached to them. So we want to come from a place of humility with this and take care of our temple. So whether it's a little half-liter dainty bottle, powerful women out there, please do it. carry that big jug. Water is so important because when we're dehydrated, oh my goodness, the immune system, we're electrical beings. That's something Bruce Lipton talked on too. He's spoken at my university in Atlanta many times, is that we're electrical, innate, intelligent attractors and retractors. And when we're dehydrated, it's not good because the electricity conduction in the nervous system goes down. So we can't transmit to strengthen our immune system quickly and internally, which means something else, adaptation, right, gentlemen? Like if we go out and we're around people that are run down, our immune system, and for all the moms and dads listening right now, think of yourself like a superhero. You got to adapt. Our immune system has to adapt. If we're dehydrated, it's very tough to adapt. Very tough. And the military teaches that too.
And I want to add for everyone that's listening, this is interactive. This is a Q&A as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in our comment section. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, we receive them in the same place. So no worries there. So we actually do have a question for someone that we all know, from Susan. So she goes, Susan Hargreaves. She goes, you may have answered this already. How about the not eating scrumptious vegan ice cream, etc. at night challenges? Asking for a friend.
It doesn't sound like it.
Knows what she's doing.
I know, Susan.
Corinne, you go first.
Well, I mean, when it comes to the ice cream, like I know from what I said, you want to move more towards a plant-based diet, but there is something called moderation. And when it comes to moderation, you really want to have that moderation. Like, and some people, the meaning of moderation could be different. For some people, it could be like a quarter cup each night. It could be once a week. It could be once a month, right? But with that said, or whatever it is, I would say try to minimize it as much as possible. And as long as the majority of your diet is more whole foods, then that small little ice cream is not going to be so effective. It's not going to be so bad if like all throughout the day, most of your 80% of your diet is coming from plant-based at least, because you have to think about all different grade levels and how much real foods you're actually consuming versus processed foods. And this is the same for someone who consumes meat. How much meat is that individual consuming, which is highly acidic, versus the plant-based foods that someone's consuming that's highly alkaline. Like there's a balance, and you really have to find that balance. So I would say, if you can get away from the ice cream, be best. I mean, you just have to look at it like this is your health, and there's this coronavirus going on, so it's like rolling the dice every time you have a processed cookie or something processed. It's like you're rolling the dice.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there is other ways you can make ice cream natural. Like I was using something like almost like a sherbet. I took like some frozen blueberries and a banana, a little bit of almond milk, blend it up, have a nice little dessert right there. I mean, that's 10 times better than any processed ice cream, than Ben and Jerry and stuff like that. So
have the kids do it. Get the kids in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Remember, bring this in home. Corinne, I was just gonna say that, man. Grab the frozen blueberries. I'm here. This is
frozen strawberries.
Homemade cashew milk. Doesn't take long. Use that. And to Susan's question, a lot of people with the desserts and the cravings that come with this witching hour that people market and the things that go on when the evening comes. Let's just leave it at that. So we're going to go into universal and the earth axis spinning. How about eating dessert in the middle of the day? How about, and again, I'm not right now, I don't know how people listening, I don't know how their blood interacts with white blood cells and things that we do on a diagnostic laboratory level, but we mentioned just 10, 15 minutes ago, this organ, the pancreas, and we were talking about proteins that come from different grains. What if you gave the opportunity to the children's beautiful little immune system and that organ, the pancreas, right? And the adult to crush that ice cream midday. I did this with my daughter the other day. Oh my God, ice cream in the middle of the day? You know how much fun that was? And now we're giving these adults that, Corinne, you're a guide to, adults and children I'm a guide to, and you let this beautiful organ process that insulin and that sugar all day. The other parts of the gastrointestinal system get to extract the fibers and all these nutrients. And it's a beautiful food. It's a beautiful food made right at home. The consistency, like Corinne brought up, sherbet, that you have to play with. But don't be scared. Don't be scared. Get in the kitchen. Get in the kitchen and make a magical food moment happen. My mom used to say that all the time. Even now being vegan, we say that all the time. Make these magical food moments happen. Play with the food. The ice creams are incredible. It's a lot easier to go buy something from Coconut Bliss or even that new avocado ice cream. That stuff's crazy good. Good. Scary good. But it's much more fun at home. But we love those brands, and we're thankful for what they're doing for people. But to take strawberries, blueberries, some cashew milk, or some almond milk, and do that. And then, you know what's really special is to watch a child's face be like, wow, I just did that. Right? And we're in a scary time right now. People aren't sure, are we being told the truth? What's going on? And they used to go out to the juicery. They used to go get this. They used to go get that. A lot of parents don't homeschool. So this aspect of COVID-19, before, Corinne, you spoke on that a lot, that aspect's not new to us. My wife, she's the love of my life. Her and my daughter are my everythings. She's so inspiring to so many people on how we do it. It is an insane amount of commitment. But you know what? We just do it. We go through it. It's not easy. It is far from easy. Just like anything in life that's worth doing, right? People are always looking for, a cheat code. There's certain things, there are no cheat codes. There aren't. And that's a book I have coming out soon. But there's no cheat codes in this. And to do this at home and to be home ec in the kitchen, homeschooling, putting these things together, watch the kids' faces light up. It's like Corinne, when you have one of your clients and they crushed a limitation. You knew it wasn't a limitation, but they thought it was a limitation. And they're on this euphoric high all day. That little kid from doing a blueberry smoothie, or how about this? Guys, 8 to 10 years ago, dragon fruit, it was not available in powder form. It was not available. You can go buy frozen, already prepared dragon fruit. Now, I have a daughter. She's turning 8 next Wednesday, Jaja, the one I mentioned, and she's now started her own little social following. But it's unicorn everything right now. The past couple of years is unicorn everything. Oh, we do unicorn smoothies. Like, how do you make a smoothie the color of dragon food? Well, you get dragon fruit. That's how you do it. And now it's pink and it's all these other colors.
That's cool.
It's so much fun. But we have to keep the mental focus, and it's discipline that yields fun. It's discipline that can yield success. Don't assign, everybody listening, please, from my heart to yours, don't assign that discipline is painful. Oh, it's tough. It's restrictive. It's limiting. No, it's not. It's streamlining. It's streamlining. Whether you're doing something general and you're going to try and work with someone where you do grocery shopping, you learn to watch carbohydrates and proteins, or you get blood drawing, you work with someone like me. Everything is streamlined. And we love to do that. Corinne, obviously, that's why you do what you do. You love to do it. I love to do it. And that's why we're here today, is to contribute time, because we really want people to be more open-minded to plant-based power, mentally, spiritually, physically. Wherever you connect to that. And that's where it's so special. We've got these documentaries now coming out that a lot of people aren't ready to see the horrific things done to animals. It almost turns them away from being open-minded, right? So, I mean, now these documentaries coming out, it's, hey, I can be healthier. You've got medical doctors speaking out like, wow, maybe the way animal proteins affect our brain, short-term or long-term, is not a good thing. Wow. And it's opening conversations, just like other things going on in our country right now, that lead to uncomfortable conversations. But again, here's the affirmation: open mind, open heart. God, we can learn so much. And then we empower each other. It's special. It's so special. And for people to learn about the stories of why we are vegan and how this happened. And gentlemen, this best friend of mine, he was my turning point. He's not just like a prop. Magic was my turning point. I had done 5 years of post-grad My daughter is born vegan, okay? And I'm traveling constantly for elite military, pro athletes, or just private families, and have a private practice. And I come home and I'm sharing with my wife, this is unbelievable, the stuff in the food. The chlorine, we've known about the corn gases for years, sprayed in the packaged proteins, the corn gas that's sprayed on the prepared carrots in the bags. I mean, we have to step away. It's a little bit of my food comedy, but isn't it kind of funny how all those prepared carrots in those bags, the misters, right? When we walk through the grocery store, they're being misted to like stay wet. Hey, why don't they ever turn brown? Why don't they ever oxidize? Aha, interesting. Because there's chemicals involved. So I'm home from a trip and I'm baking a full chicken. This is many years ago. And I go and get Magic and he's hanging out with me. And as you can see, there's a part of him, he doesn't have hair. All the animals we help are rescues. And my daughter turns to me, everybody, and she says, Daddy, look at the oven. Look at the oven. And the chicken is on a vertical stand, right? Because I'm cooking the chicken vertically. And my daughter, Jaja, says, Daddy, that looks like magic in the oven. Remember, that's his name, right? And you see his body. And I'm not kidding you. All the ears and hearts that are listening, and gentlemen, that was it. I had done post-grad, got a couple diplomates. I was born nutrition, like I said earlier, crock pots. And I started to have this innate sense. And then also with a couple of very hierarchy spiritual people that were patients of ours and my mom's, it just, with what I do with being a doctor to lead people to better lifestyles, I started to feel this like, wow, what if this increases my God-given talent, right? What if I don't eat anything that's gone through fear? What if I don't eat anything that's gone through these emotions? Because they're real, whether people are ready to listen or not. Corinne, I'm sure you know, being a bodybuilder, you've got to study how proteins and salts come in and out of the body. Man, when these animals are about to be harvested, they're starved. Then they're fed massive carbohydrates to bump them up in diabetic shock. It increases their weight. And then some of the farmers that function like that, they get to sell them for more. Now, we're not going to name names. We're not here to hate on people. We're here to love all people. But that is a process out there. And I was in the kitchen, and that was it. I had done years of continuing education, saw my bird here, amazing, amazing animal, saw the chicken. My daughter said that, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. This is just not right. This is just not right. I can feel it spiritually coming on, mentally, and from an educated mind. Because many people want to make decisions from like this educated mind where they're not listening to their heart. And as we say in Hebrew, the neshama, the spirit, right? And it was just wham, it hit me. And here we are, almost 7 years now. And I went through withdrawal. I went through the things that game changers, the doctors talk about. I went through these things of salivating. And a lot of my athletes and regular public clientele from around the area and even out of the state, they go through this. There is withdrawal. You can taste this. And that's because of what some of these documentaries have talked about, the ammonias and the acids and these things that build up in our body. So I hope that inspires somebody. I'm not, like the gentleman on Shark Week who I mentioned to Sean. I mean, his story was very similar to mine. I mean, he's a Navy SEAL, retired from Australia, bodybuilder, got attacked. And I'm a big fan of Shark Week. And he went to visit his friend in Australia that's keeping lions and tigers safe. And the guy went vegan. And he goes out to visit his best friend. And they're like, come on, man, let's have let's two blokes, let's have a beer and some steak. And he was like, man, I don't do that anymore. Like, it's not in congruency with my lifestyle and my spirit. I'm here defending these animals. How could I sit down and eat a steak? Oh my goodness, that interview, I think we all look for different energy, points in our life where we have things in common, like we are now with COVID-19 on connecting. And I think if people could look in their hearts and assign the compassion that we do for an amazing animal like this, or your dog or your cat at home, and assign that compassion to where people have been growing up in this country getting their main proteins from, which typically are killed animals, right? Because there's no animal that's willing to go through that. That's for sure, right? If we can assign that compassion and connect that compassion, we can change the world. And that's why, and the gentleman that did that, Joaquin Phoenix, on the back of the new book, I mean, I'm still in awe. He got the Grammys and the Golden Globes to go plant-based. It's phenomenal, but it's connecting the compassion. There's no difference between a pet chicken and the pet dog. There's no difference between, like what that lady said yesterday, the cattle woman. Oh my God. She said her and her husband had such a debacle that she started going outside to spend more time with the cows.
And I want to tie what you're saying to the conversation of self-care. And a lot of people are coming on right now to find out what are some of the things they can do at home. We talked about parenting. We talked about things you can do with your kids. We talked about hydration. We talked about the food. But I also want to talk about, and this question is going to be for you first, Corinne, sleep. How important is sleep for our bodies in all of this?
Oh, it's very important. It ties in with very similar things when it comes to water. It's when you sleep, it helps with cortisol levels. It also helps with brain activity, how your body actually functions. So the sleep is really important because without rest, then your body goes into deprivation, and then this can create a lot of anxiety and stress into your body, which again, this can make your body vulnerable. So there's so many things that can make the body vulnerable and lower and weaken the immune system. So when it comes to sleep, I always recommend somewhere around 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But if you can hit that 8, that's like perfect. If you can hit that 8 consecutively, and you want to also pick a time of sleep at the same period of time or somewhere near the same period of time as well each day. You don't want to be going to sleep at different times of the day, because then your body gets stressed out, and then it really knocks your body off of I think the word's called, I can't think of it right now, but cardiac rhythm. Yeah. So it definitely knocks the body off of that. So, that's my partake on that.
And what about you, Dr. Leon?
So sleep is a very important technology. It's a technology that no one has to purchase. It's right here in our temples. And we teach within our dietary engineering forum about organ function and timing when you're eating the correct foods for your immune system, the correct foods. So let's share with the globe right now who's turning in on these amazing organs. Now, if anybody's missing an organ, like you don't have both kidneys, or God forbid your gallbladder has been removed, statistically, these are popular. That's more specific. So there's certain organs in our body that need to be, as we talk about, we've been teaching for over, my goodness, we're 39 years to date, our dietary company. Your liver, if you have your gallbladder, your pancreas, your large, small intestine, and the kidneys, they come together and they make this beautiful Broadway show. Now, it can't happen vertically. And what I mean by that is, like, you can't be a cone head, right? Does everybody remember Saturday Night Live, Dan Aykroyd with the cone heads, right? What was funny about that skit? Come on, y'all, come on. Even them youngins out there, if you're under 20, you got to Google that. Dan Aykroyd was the man. How that SNL skit was famous, guys, right? Now, Corinne, you were probably serving somewhere. You do look very young. You shave. You got the baby face. I'm a goat. I got the chin strap. Football season's about to start. But Dan Aykroyd, what was the best part about that skit? Mass quantity. I know, right? You're hungry. He's hungry. He want to eat mass quantity. And then they would sleep standing up. So that doesn't happen. And my military confirms that. Female and male soldiers, you can't sleep standing up and lose weight, but you can sleep standing up. So sleeping is this amazing technology in our body. It's a technology that's built in us, and it's an interactive process, and it's when we heal. Please hear that. Sleep is recovery. Recovery is healing. Healing is power. You must recover. So you must be horizontal. We teach you must be in the horizontal plane for a minimum. These organs I mentioned before, but specifically your all-stars of your, what we call, and we've coined as your cleaning cycles, are your liver, kidneys, and pancreas. And they go through cleaning cycles. These cleaning cycles, there are 3 2.5 hour cleaning cycles. Now, depending on the frontal lobe pressure or the stress that's going on in your life, how well you calm down at night. Everybody, we know there's Fitbits everywhere. You got stuff you can strap to your head. They got straps for your mattress, for goodness sakes, trying to track this. And then that ramps people up. You've got rings that you can wear now. I mean, everyone trying to track everything, and you're not going to calm down. That's why the bedroom, wherever you get horizontal, even if it's you lay down with your children, I ask my patients to make that a temple. Dark. We have light receptors on our frontal lobe. It's been recorded in some research up to 10,000 light receptors. Everyone, you know that if you close your eyes, you can still feel when a light is on in the room. Your eyelids have over 5,000 receptors, I've read in research. It might be different now. Don't hold me to the exact number, but there are light receptors there. So being in a dark room where the body can calm down. Earlier, Corinne, you just mentioned something about a cardiac reflex. We learned that in chiropractic or medical school, the oculocardiac reflex, when there is if you wear like an eye patch to calm you down, and it elicits a little pressure on the eye. So make your bedrooms dark, calm them down, not a lot of light. Get rid of the blue lumen light on your cell phones. Turn them off, leave them in the bathroom. Get that old school alarm clock. Get that old school alarm clock. Get technology. Even Steve Jobs warned us. And even Steve Jobs warned us to don't become too addicted to this stuff. So these organs,
Just to say something, for example, just to add on to what you're saying, all my electronics, phone, the Wi-Fi internet box, my laptop, all my electronics is in this room, in the office. I keep the bedroom, no TV, no phone, no nothing is in there. Yeah.
Yes. And those frequencies, everyone listening again, husband, wife, young entrepreneur, professional, high school, even younger, it's been proven. This is not a debate. This is not an argument. You've got physicists from Berkeley and Stanford up in Washington, D.C. just 2 months ago arguing the 5G conversation. It's proven. Those electromagnetic fields, they interfere. Unplug the Wi-Fi tower. Put a time clock on it like when we set up holiday lights. Shut that thing off. But now, just one last thing to finish about sleep. You want to be hydrated. We ask, and this is just good general information until we find more out about specific foods with someone's body. Horizontal, that 6 to 8 window hour is nice. I can support that. 7.5 with the 2.5 hour cleaning cycles of what these organs go through is a good window. So Corinne, I support that. That's 6 to 8. I want to bump that up just a little, but then people say this, and I'm sure clients say this, oh my God, I can't get that every day. I have children, I have work, I have this, right? So it becomes very important. We're coming back to the mind. Calm down, right? Try and start better practices at home. Corinne, wouldn't you agree with that? With teaching your patients? Yes.
And just to add on to that, like for like my clients and students, I teach them how to, schedule, time management, and accountability. This helps you increase more productivity, but also increase more free time. So you have time and more time for leisure and do extra things that can take care of yourself.
Yeah. And that's a blessing. If people can, I think everyone, as long as we're always seeking to improve, right now with the COVID-19 thing, if people become too mechanistic, and please, again, everyone, no judgment, listen with an open heart and open mind. Don't become mechanistic right now. Don't become check the boxes and become hard. There is anxieties and pressures everywhere. Hug your children, hug your loved one. We've got to be more affectionate now, because if we allow things from the outside to take hold of how we think, feel, live, and breathe every day, you're going to be reacting and not acting. You're going to be reacting and not acting. And we talked about that in the mask video. It's still going on. Most of society is reacting. We want to be able to, hey, you know what? I'm going to take time to think. Sit down. Eat a really nice salad. Involve your children, right? Make a really good chili, power-packed chili, right? Figure out how to bring this home and open your mind to being plant-based. Bring that energy into the home. And we've done that with my daughter. My daughter, as my wife says, is vegan born. And imagine, gentlemen, your daughter, like being able to look at the oven and say that, and to connect that compassion with the story. No, seriously, there's so much energy there. And I mean, she's so tiny and young and innocent. And some of the amazing high rank military I've had the honor of counseling, where they're gorilla-like, and they've got to live in a mountain on a rainforest for, like, my God, 14 days. And they're like, Doc, man, them chocolate covered coffee beans, man, I was so focused. You know, when we catch up after a mission and we talk, my poops were good. I couldn't believe that. And then I say, that's plant-based power. That's plant-based power. Just like if you were to eat dehydrated blueberries or dehydrated pineapple with all that fiber, right? It's plant-based power right from Mother Earth. It's amazing. As you can see, I mean, I'm excited about it. I do this day in and day out, as Corinne, you do, and Sean, you're the driving force behind SoFlo Vegan. And you have to, if it not at first, people connect the compassion with an animal they love. Again, like these documentaries are doing, do it for better health. Do it for your return on investment. Now, if we want to sound educated and financial, your ROI, right? Because it is. I mean, we're not going to talk bowel movements today, but we teach bowel movement education, just like we teach sleep education. It's return on investment. It's return on investment. But the more awareness we have, now you can actually feel like you can control some of this, which is something that we all really aspire to, like, want to have more of. And there's never been a better time to control your kitchen. There's never been a better time to control what comes in and out of your mouth and read labels. And right, gentlemen, I mean, thank goodness, and everyone listening, last week, the Yahoo article, right? Guess what? Next year, it may be totally removed. It's only going to say distributed by on products. Where was it manufactured, or what region did it come from? They're back at this again. They are back at this again, like they were in 2016, and this new wave of political, and we're not going there today. But could you imagine going to the grocery store, picking up produce, and not knowing where it came from? How about buying a processed package, right? Like, oh my God, some of the products out on the market are amazing from these vegan companies. I mean, it's just mind-blowing how they're putting things together. But imagine, that's why this education, these forums, Sean, thank you to you, because I know we're coming up on the hour. Really, thank you to you, Sean. Thank you for what you're doing. I know you're losing sleep, but you got to make up for it this week. That's another cool thing about sleep technology. You can actually make up for lost sleep with certain organs, and that's for another talk show. But Sean, thank you to you. But imagine that, gentlemen. Imagine that, everybody, if we actually were to buy product and you don't even know where things are resourced from. For God's sakes, on our clothes, we even know where it comes from.
There's some countries that's like that, actually, too.
I know.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico. There's certain products that's packaged, has nothing in the back. Doesn't tell you ingredients, no nutrition facts, nothing.
And there's even companies that sell product here. And I married a Canadian girl, and Kim's amazing. And we've been going there for years. And I was going there with my education before I met Kim. And I would go into the grocery stores. I grew up in a grocery store, and to this day, it connects me to my mom spiritually, because she's physically not here. She's in the spiritual realm now. But looking at a company that sells oatmeal here that has natural flavor raspberry, what the heck is that? Then I'm over in Montreal, and the same company selling oatmeal, except it says organic raspberry. What's up? What's up? That's not cool. That's called agroeconomics. That's called lobbying, food brokering, distribution, and what we call is window dressing in that industry. So it can be done. We can get better. And I think that's another emotional form we wanted to do today, right, Sean, which was touch on conversation for our homes, touch on enlightenment, touch on energy, touch on sleep. But we can do better. I can, I will, I must is an affirmation that Dr. Sid Williams, the founder of my university, who I was very close with, who recently he integrated too into the spiritual. He always used to lead us as a huge university. And I was actually there when it was a college. I was the youngest to ever graduate from Life College. Amazing. He would always say that. I can, I will, I must. Everybody, please say that at home. Teach your children this for all these new habits, right, that we're here today talking about. I can, I will, I must. we really must right now with this viral issue and all the things they're talking about doing to the human race that they've already done to animals,
And on that note, I want to thank you both for your time and sharing your insights and your experience with our viewers. And this is going to be on replays, so people who missed it live will have an opportunity to watch in its entirety. But to close, can you tell us where we can find more information about yourself, Corinne?
For me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, mostly more active on Instagram. Just type in my name, Corinne Sutton, and then also my website, bodyhdfitness.com.
And what about you, Dr. Leon?
Sean, again, thank you. Corinne, thank you, man, for your service. I can't express it enough. We will connect following this. Everyone, no, really. Now, everyone can find out more about me and my mother's legacy. This is my 20th year as a doctor, and it's been an honor to take care of some of the best athletes in the world. So they call me a pro doc, which is kind of cool. We're just getting started. We're just getting started on social. There's a lot of responsibility and liability that comes with this. And we want to tell the right story. We want to provide the right information with solutions, not just be another person out there. So you can find us on Instagram. We've recently launched our YouTube channel. We've gone LinkedIn, almost every platform out there. But please subscribe. Please be patient. We have, as Sean has said, a tremendous amount of content and new content coming. I will support you. Please, I ask that you support us, because we are here to elevate the consciousness, as one of my good patients, Will Clay, and his new wife, Queen Harrison, 2 Olympic athletes that just are absolutely awesome. They couldn't be here with us today. I invited them on last minute, but Will Clay was up for the Olympics that just got discontinued. And, it is about dreams don't die. In one of his incredible songs that just came out, dreams don't die, they multiply. And that's what we need everybody to do right now. We need to not lose sight of your dream. I'm hungry. He's hungry. Corinne's hungry. We're all hungry right now. But stay hungry. Stay hungry for knowledge. And please find out more about us on YouTube. Go to our website, SaryMellman.com. Our vision is that people can be their greatest. And that's how my mom used to sign off on her letters when I grew up and we had 6 fax machines going around the world communicating to people. We want people to be their greatest. You have that opportunity. And by being plant-based focused, you can get there sooner. That's just the facts. Right, gentlemen?
That's right. That's right. And thank you guys so much. And we're going to end it on that. And I look forward to connecting with you guys in the future really soon. And tune into our next panel. Is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be Getting Raw about plant-based living. And where it's going to be our conversation with Karen Calabrese. So be tuned in for that. So thank you guys so much.
All right, peace.
We're hungry. Blessings.